Okay, folks, we got some DBD news. This once again is unscripted, so I'm just gonna do my best to say what's all been happening and what's on my mind. So, first things first, the leaks, the speculation, the tinfoil hat stuff, all the stuff people have been going crazy about. So we have a few images that Dead by Daylight has posted. You've probably all seen them, but if you haven't, I'll post them on screen. We have this unsuspecting image of the fire barrel, and as the arrow is pointing out, there is an S coming out of the barrel. A very clear, purposefully put there S. Definitely not a mistake by anyone at Behavior, because they've never made any mistakes whatsoever. Yeah, so anyway, and in the back people were speculating, oh look at that thing, it has like bunny ears and it might be Springtrap and stuff, but you know, it could just be like some kind of plant, so who knows. However, what is important is the S, so keep that in mind as we continue on. We're gonna have our next set of images here. We have the good old clown map. We have this big sign and it has all of this worn out text and such. And on screen now is the one that is in the game. If you go and play on the map, you'll see this. However, ABD posted something on Facebook, and it was the same thing, except that circus is spelt with 2 I's. How strange, how peculiar, how interesting. So we'll keep that in mind. We have an S and an I. Now, there's another thing I want to point out a little bit later, but we'll get to that, you know, later. Next, we have... Like, okay, sure. That's definitely a thing that was needed to be tweeted. DBD, I'm glad you could contribute to the conversation. So we have an S, an I, and an A. Interesting. And then the thing that I think that I pointed out first, but you know, there's maybe some other people pointed it out first. Dead by Daylight retweeted something from Dead by Daylight Mobile, but if they were gonna retweet it, they could have just like retweeted it. But instead, they quote retweeted it with the letters R and T. How strange, how peculiar, how interesting, let's keep going. And then this one is them tweeting something, and it's the perk red herring. So, you know, this all could just be a lie, you know, call them the Alpha Legion. So, those are the things we have to go off of now, and a lot of people are pointing to Springtrap, and I honestly don't blame them. It has all of the letters to turn out to be Springtrap, and we really just need to look and see what happens. By the time this video goes live, we'll probably have even more letters, and I'll probably get comments. Why didn't you include this picture? Why didn't you include this picture? Well, I'm recording this not at a time when any new info has been pointed out. So, it's probably Springtrap, but if this is all just a ruse, it's all misdirection, it could also be that it wouldn't be the first time that DBD has done something to purposefully mislead us. Their hints and clues have always been very, very vague. However, something that I do want to point out is whenever we've had a licensed chapter, normally, when it's licensed, they don't tease anything. They just, like, put a video, and then we're all like, oh look, it's this license. With the Ghostface one, that one was kind of, you know, not that great, because there was this whole leaking thing and we got to see Ghostface super early. But if that didn't happen, we would have found out about it on the anniversary stream. I mean, we already had some other clues in there about people that they were following and such. So maybe someone wants to go and see if Dead by Daylight has started following people at FNAF or other places. That could also be another way that they mislead us as well, so don't take anything without a substantial amount of salt, as usual in Dead by Daylight. But my point being is that they normally have just a trailer. and then that's it, and then we know what the license is. It's not like them to tease a license. With Ghostface, there was a trailer. With, what was the next one? Pyramid Head, there was the trailer. With Stranger Things, there was the live stream with question marks as the title. And oh look, the trailer. With Resident Evil, they had the whole thing with Capcom doing their own thing, but again, it was a trailer. The big reveal was what killer it would be. And there wasn't any teasers about what killer it would be, it was just us theory crafting about it. So why would they do teasers? Now, about me mentioning that double letter thing, we go, and if you've ever been in the FNAF fandom, and I don't blame you if you haven't, as this has been a long time in the making, when Scott Cawthon first teased Springtrap, he used a Steam post in which he doubled up letters. And every doubled up letter, if you took it and spaced them all out into a correct phrase, it said, "My name is Springtrap." So, I'm leaning heavily towards it being Springtrap. Now, it could also just be an original chapter that they're releasing a legendary cosmetic with. Who knows? But if they would be, then why would they be separating out the killer and the survivor between the chapter and the mid-chapter if it's all original? It doesn't quite make sense. It would make sense if it was a licensed chapter and the license didn't have that good of a survivor to go with it. Maybe it was rushed because there was some changing of leadership, like Scott Cawthon stepping down and trying to find someone new. They could have had to rush it out because they needed to get everything squared away with Scott before he moved away from the series. Where I stand right now, I'm saying it's like 90% Springtrap that we're looking at, and then we're gonna get a survivor that's probably gonna be something like a night guard, but it's gonna be completely original. And as I said before, they're probably gonna have a super overpowered perk because they need to have the chapter sell. Even if it is original, they want people to get the survivor. So those are my 2 cents on the subject. In other DBD news, what was that? They had some kind of MMR thing that they turned off after 14 minutes. As usual, behavior doesn't know when to quit. They really just need to get rid of the MMR thing. It's the only thing that it could do is either be as good as the system we have now, or worse. There's like no physical way it can be better, because of all of the randomness that is inherent in the game, with stuff that you can bring, play styles you can play, killers you can play, the power level of the killers being so drastically different, all of the survivors and all of their possible builds, and trying to do like a system with, you know, survive with friends should probably be weighted a little heavier than an all solo team, not like super heavily weighted, but probably a little more weighted like every other game with an MMR system. There is no way it is not gonna just be a complete mess that's hardly better than what we have right now. The only benefit that comes from this is that they're gonna be able to remove ranks so no one knows where anyone is on the scale of their skill. So they could essentially just be, they could lie about the entire matchmaking system and then just separate new coming players and then just put everyone else in this giant pool and then queue everyone up with everyone to get as fast of games as possible, and I doubt anyone would tell a difference. That's how bad I think the system is gonna be. That's honestly how bad the system is currently, except it's mostly like anything below red rank, you can kinda gauge the skill, and then red rank, you can have terrible people and the best players in the world. There's such a range with red rank. Anyway, no one's probably watching, because I've rambled on for long enough, so if you've lasted this long, put a comment in with that doubled up letter thing, and make some kind of funny message that we can all see. So, anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will be back with more leaks, more interesting news, and more funny stuff if it happens, because that's what DVD is right now, basically. Okay. See you all in the next video.